The tears are a part of our lives. Tears will always be present in each of our journeys. Often, we may not understand, but they will always be a part. As Ecclesiastes 3 verse 4 says, a time to weep and a time to laugh, a time to mourn and a time to dance. That is, there is a time to cry. Many times we are crying because of a struggle, because of a difficulty, because of a spiritual battle we have entered and are facing great difficulties due to the size of the struggle, the size of the enemy, the adversity, but there are people who are crying because they sought out a reason to cry. In their youth, they were not guided by their parents. Look, this person does not seem to be an educated person, a person of character, someone who will be good for you. But the person, without even analyzing, listening a little to what the father and mother said, chose to go ahead with that person. Without stopping to think, without stopping to observe, to at least consider what was said. The advice given. And today lives in a sad, depressive marriage, a marriage that sometimes is only having fights, arguments, and all because she did not stop to consider advice, she did not stop to observe some details. And so it is in life. My brother, Psalm 119 speaks thus in verse 136. Streams of tears flow from my eyes, for your law is not obeyed. Look at what the psalmist is saying, he was crying so much it seemed like streams of tears. And why was he crying? For not keeping the Lord's law, that is, the word of the Lord. How many times have we cried because we made wrong decisions, outside or contrary to the word of God, and the result ends up being the worst. Causing pain, causing sadness, causing suffering, causing regret. My brother, how many times have you made a wrong decision? How many times have you made the wrong choice? Wrong because it was outside of the word, and even knowing, you went and chose it, and today you cry bitterly. There are people for whom the consequence lasts for years, as in a relationship, for example, with the wrong person, with that person who had no trace of being a Christian, who had no biblical principles in their life, but you went by the appearance, you went by what seemed to be and ended up crying bitterly. How many are those who chose wrongly and end up suffering today, crying bitterly? Are there tears in our life that we ourselves cause? Sometimes, my brother, you will go through a struggle, through a difficulty that is part of the process for you to achieve a great victory, to receive a great blessing. But, sometimes, my brother, the tears you are crying are caused by wrong decisions you yourself made. And it's no use questioning God, complaining, Lord, why am I going through this? Lord, why this immense difficulty? Why is it? Why is my marriage so difficult? Why is my child so rebellious, causing so much trouble? It's perhaps because you didn't give the necessary attention, because you were too busy with your work, too busy with your tasks, with fatigue, always tired and not stopping to talk, to dialogue with your child, to play with your child. And today the world has taught what you did not. Stop to pay attention and teach, and you bitterly weep. How many mothers are crying over children going to funk dances? How many mothers are crying because of children getting lost in drugs, lost in alcohol, in drinking? And all why? Perhaps because in childhood, this son, this daughter, didn't have attention, didn't have dialogue, didn't have advice, didn't have instruction, didn't have a bit of firmness to block some things. My brother, there are tears we cause ourselves. The psalmist is saying, my eyes shed streams of tears, that is, tear after tear, for not keeping the law, for not following biblical principles, which says, train up a child in the way he should go, and when he is old he will not depart from it. It says that a man shall cleave to his wife, but there are principles. It cannot be a person of bad character, it cannot be a person you're merely attracted to by physical appearance, and the person did everything the opposite and today suffers in marriage. My brother, how many times you could have studied, you could have dedicated yourself, but you did nothing of the sort to enjoy yourself, to stay sleeping, letting laziness, procrastination take over you, and today you cry because you work like a convict in a company that doesn't appreciate you, that doesn't pay you a good salary, and where every day you are humiliated, and then we complain it's not because of lack of opportunity. No, it's not lack of opportunity, it's because you chose wrong, and this cry is because you chose wrong, it's because you did what? You shouldn't or didn't follow the principles of the word of the Lord. Did you go down that path because your friends insisted? Did you choose that path because it seemed good and pleasing to your eyes? And then, my brother, the tears came. So, there's a difference between the tears we cause and the tears that are part of the process. What are the tears that are part of the process? Now let's go to Psalm 126. Look what Psalm 126 is going to tell us in verse 5. Those who sow in tears will reap with songs of joy. Verse 6. He who goes out weeping, carrying seed to sow, will return with songs of joy, carrying sheaves with him. My brother, open your ears wide to hear what I'm about to tell you now. When you're crying, but it's not because you went astray from the word. Not because you made thoughtless decisions, forgetting what the Bible says, forgetting God, disregarding the advice your father gave you or that guidance from someone you admired. When you're crying, but it's because you're sowing the seed and the struggle is big, the difficulty is immense, but there you are, casting the seed. My brother, this crying will bring you joy. This crying is a cry of preparation. It's a time to weep, but soon after comes the time to laugh. If you've been crying, but it's because you're studying hard, while everyone else is partying, and you're there, losing sleep, dedicating yourself, striving, crying because it's hard, perhaps the conditions aren't the best, but you're there, giving your all. Be assured that this crying is a preparation for a great joy that's to come. You who are crying because you gave up what seemed good by appearance, but chose what is truly good in essence, in principles, in character, be sure, my brother, that your future relationship, your future marriage will be a blessing. You who are choosing the right path within the word, but the fight is big, the struggle is hard, you didn't have the principles, you didn't have guidance, you chose wrongly, but today you're in the fight to convert, for your husband to convert, for your wife to convert, for your child to leave the path of drugs. You will succeed, because you're not crying for having chosen wrongly, you're not crying because you went down a path that brought you pain and suffering. That you chose yourself, right? You're going down the right path, with the principles of the word, striving for what you want, and it's normal that often the struggle comes and tries to shake us, tries to knock us down, but always remember that the greater the victory God has for your life, the greater will be the difficulty. However, my brother, think about the size of the victory. If you're going through a struggle that is very big, that is, tearing you apart, draining your energies every day, and you have to go and renew your strength in the Lord every day, seek strength, rise and not stop, be assured, my brother, that the victory will be very big. People want to prepare us for victory. The churches today, they want to prepare us for victory. Yes, you will win, 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 win. But they want it, yet don't prepare, because preparing a person for life, preparing a person for victory, is like preparing a child for adulthood. It's telling them that there will be very good moments, there will be very good things, there will be great achievements. However, the path is not easy. However, there will be obstacles trying to hinder, trying to make you stop, trying to prevent you. But if you remain firm, if you follow the principles and advice of the word of the Lord and strive, dedicate, you will achieve. Just as we learn here on this channel that God's help is not for everyone, it's for the diligent. And if you're not subscribed to the channel, you should be, because the messages complement each other, and each day you learn more through this channel, because our only goal is to preach the true gospel as it truly is. So subscribe to the channel, activate the notifications for this bell right here. It's just pressing 2 buttons. This way you'll always be nourished, and many times words that have been preached here could have opened your eyes and made you not make mistakes and not bring tears of sorrow into your life. So stay tuned, because God has been speaking to us through this channel. God has been delivering His word, unlike many places out there that are preaching only what people want to hear, only religious and political interests. No, here we preach the truth as it truly is. And this truth, my brother, will save you from tears of sorrow, tears of regret, tears of pain, tears of suffering. You will cry, but it's because you are planting, my brother. And it's normal, we are human beings, tears cleanse our soul. How many times have you cried on your knees in the presence of God in prayer? How many times have you poured yourself out completely? This is where we see why our lives are not moving forward. This is where we see why our lives do not progress. So, my brother, remember this. If you're crying, have cried a lot, stop and think. Am I crying because I'm planting? Fighting, I'm on the right path, within the word of the Lord, fighting for what I desire and know I will reap with joy? Or am I crying because I made wrong choices, chose wrong paths outside the word of the Lord and am already suffering the consequences? Weigh it in the balance. I'm sure if you take the time to reflect, God will show you exactly what you're going through and what you should do. So understand this, God. Crying is part of it. There's a time to weep, but the time to laugh will only come if I'm crying because I'm planting on the right path. If I'm crying because I've already chosen wrongly, then the situation is complicated. Then you need to kneel down, seek help, ask God to open your eyes to see what you should do and stop making wrong decisions, because the more wrong decisions you make, the harder it will be to fix. Now, the more you plant, even if it's difficult, even if the struggle is very big, do not give up. Do not give up on your family, do not give up on your studies, do not give up on your dreams, even if you cry, but on the right path, be assured that you will reap with joy. May God bless you.